Hey everyone, my name is Samantha Fowler and I am a director of Sam's Sassy Stars in Mustang, Oklahoma. Well, I'm in Mustang, Oklahoma, but we're kind of spread out all over. I'm here to talk to you today about recruiting busy people and being busy yourself and still being able to run your business and recruit successfully. Getting my little notes here. I'm kind of nervous. I've never done this before. So I'll tell you a little bit about my life and why I actually picked this topic. I have two kids. One is my daughter and one is my stepdaughter. They both are in activities. They both have a lot going on that we like to do. Church activities, cheer, tennis, things like that, homework every night. Then I also go to school. I am, I guess, a 3/4, not really half, not really full-time student. I take 3 courses. One of them I actually attend after work, about an hour away from here. So my life's pretty busy. I also work a full-time job at a bank, and I work my scentsy business like a full-time business. So I also have lots of doctor's appointments. I'm diabetic, so I am every month going to doctor's appointments. I have my kids' doctor's appointments. So, every second of my life, I'm filling in with something. So I love it when people tell me, oh, I'm just so busy, because I'm like, oh yeah, let's hear it. What about my life? No, really. And I understand that people are busy, and there's different levels of busy for people. But if you want this business, it's something that you can make work no matter what level of busy you're on. When I started doing this, I was busy still. I had a newborn baby. I was going to school. I had just been diagnosed with diabetes, so there was a lot of classes and education and things that I was going for. I was still kind of young and trying to figure out life myself, so life was busy for me too. And that's actually why I joined Scentsy. I was working at a department store as a second job, and Scentsy replaced that because I was working until 2 and then getting up and going to work at 6. And so when I signed up for Scentsy, it was so that I wasn't going to be as busy. And that's what I always tell people. I say it's not necessarily something that's supposed to cause more chaos in my life. It's something that if I can continue to work at this and do good at this and show other people the love that I have for it, that I might not have to do this much stuff as I get older. I may not have to do as many jobs and finish school and do things like that. Not necessarily finish, but you know what I mean. So I've never really thought of it as another task to check off my list. I've always hoped that I get good enough and have a great enough team that I don't have to do all this one day. That being said, like I told you guys, I tell all potential recruits the same thing. I make sure and mention it in some way or fashion at each of my parties about all the kind of things that I have going on in my life, so that they can kind of compare and say, well, if she can do it and she has all this going on, I can do that too. I always am straightforward with that. It's not a cakewalk. You're not just going to get money handed to you. You're not going to get orders handed to you. You're not going to get new recruits handed to you. It's something that you do have to work at. And if you're not willing to do that, maybe this isn't the thing for you. Which kind of leads me to my second point is there is a huge difference between being busy and excuses. I am not a big rebuttaler. If you're going to tell me that you're busy, I've already told you about my life. And if you continue to bring up new things, oh, I got this coming up, or oh, I got this coming up, they're probably not worth your time, because they're going to get so overwhelmed later that it's really a waste of your time to try and convince them to make time for Scentsy. And that was a big difference for me, because I wanted this so bad, and I knew that I had to make this work. So it didn't matter how busy I was. I would have to find blocks of time throughout my life to make sure that I could do this. And a lot of people are not willing to do that. So don't get discouraged, if you're rebuttaling or saying, oh, well, parties, you get to pick that date. You get to make the time. You get to decide when you're doing this stuff. You get to decide when you're dropping off orders. And they still are coming back with more excuses. I really wouldn't waste too much time on that. Look for those go-getters that do want to make time and are like, oh yeah, I can find 30 minutes, on my way to the doctor's appointment to drop these orders off on the way. Or, I'm going to do my parties on Thursday nights because Thursday nights I don't have anything going on. So I'm going to block those out for scentsy. So you really want to find those people that can work around their busyness and that aren't making excuses of why they can't do it. That kind of leads into prioritizing. I have a calendar that has everything in it. I always encourage a second calendar. I know that I've heard that from actually other consultants, and that's kind of what helped me be so successful is I also block off meeting times for potential recruits. They're always about the same time. They're usually when people are not working and don't have activities, so on the weekends usually, kind of in the early morning because most people have things they want to do with their families later. So if I can show them that it can be easy and you prioritize, and I always show them my calendar for my parties and my calendar for my life, kind of are two separate, but then they become intermingled because I can't run my life successfully and be looking, in one direction one time and one direction another time. So I start off with two calendars where I show them what I've blocked off for parties, but then once I get those filled I convert them into my normal calendar for my normal life, and so everything flows together and I have everything color coded and I show all potential recruits that so that they can do that and put that in place when they start also, so it's not overwhelming and they're pretty organized. A huge deal that I see everybody always posting about on social media, and it's even in our our consultant recruiting packets, what have you, is that one of the reasons to start this business is to make your own schedule. If you're busy, that shouldn't be a problem because you're making your own schedule. So you pick, like I stated before, you pick your own times for everything. If you're too busy this week, plan for next week. Maybe you do 2 parties next week. That's the glory of the whole business, and that's why it's so amazing is that you're not confined to what your customers want. Really, you're the one that's making the appointments. Just like if I go to Walmart, well, Walmart's not really a good example. They're open 24 hours. But if I go to a small town boutique, their hours are crazy. Sometimes I'm in there and I'm like, it's 5 o'clock and you're not open. But guess what? They're making their own schedule. They pick their busy times. They pick what times they need to be open around what's going on in their life. We're no different. And that should show potential recruits and guests that come to parties and all that stuff that if you're not overwhelming yourself and you're picking what you can do, then they can do that too. And that actually is more attractive than trying to go by a schedule and trying to just to fill in on what your customers are wanting instead of what you're wanting. Because then you can really prove to them that this is a business that you can make your own schedule and you don't have to go by any rules besides what you want. So I just, again, everybody's busy. If you're not busy, then they're just lazy. But I really believe in being straightforward, showing them a calendar so that they can kind of have something to go off of if they're not already an organized person and don't really know how to utilize calendars. And then again, just embrace the busyness. Tell them that's the glory of this business and making your own schedule. So it's all right to be busy. And then eventually one day, maybe they won't have to be so busy. So, I hope you guys get out there and recruit a whole bunch of busy people and fill up your calendars with things to help you be busier too in your business, because it will definitely help you grow. And then you guys will be walking on stage as annual mentors next year. So have a great night. Thanks.